Hello, I'm joined today by Dr. Robert Dale, Chief Strategy Scientist and CTO of Arria. Dr. Dale, welcome.
Thank you.
Could you just tell us a bit about your company? It's quite a new company specialising in technology, am I right?
The company's new, but the technology that the company is based on really goes back 25 years. It's based on 25 years of research carried out by myself and Professor Ehud Reiter, who's our chief scientist. We did our PhDs in the 1980s in what was then a new field called natural language generation. And it's from that the technological base of the company has grown. So we started 25 years ago researching this space, trying to work out how to do certain kinds of things with computer software. 4 years ago, Ehud spun out a company from the University of Aberdeen to take the technology into a commercial space. And then a couple of years ago, Data to Text, as the company was called, was discovered by the Arria founders. So they added their commercial expertise in building a business to what Ehud had. And so that's got us to the state where we are today. So it's a young company, but with a long intellectual history, if you like.
Natural language generation. Can you explain?
Sure. So, or NLG for short. It's essentially about taking data and turning it into text, taking, in particular, large quantities of data that might be produced by sensors or your personal health Fitbit device or whatever, taking all this data, extracting information from it, and then delivering it in a report, a written report that people can understand and act upon.
So what kind of commercial applications does that have?
Well, our two major clients right now are Shell and the Met Office. And just very briefly, in the case of Shell, what we're doing is we're taking sensor data, and there's lots of sensor data that comes off machinery on oil platforms. We're taking the sensor data from pumps and compressors and generators, analysing that data whenever there's a potential problem to detect what the context is, to explain the nature of the potential problem, and to make a recommendation for action on the basis of those analyses. So that's taking a lot of data, extracting useful information from it, then delivering it as a report that the operators on the rigs can use to determine what to do next. And that's something that the software can do in 60 to 90 seconds, but would take a human engineer 3 to 4 hours to do.
And the Met Office?
In the case of the Met Office, we're producing what are called site-specific weather forecasts. So prior to the use of our technology, the Met Office would produce something like 60, that's 60, site-specific weather forecasts for different locations around the country. And the reason they would produce 60 is because that's what makes economic sense. They actually have much more fine-grained data than that. So we take that same data, we apply the same analysis and communication skills that the weather forecasters do, and we can produce 5,000 of these site-specific reports in 1 minute.
So what's your vision for the company over the next 5 years? It sounds like it's a very dynamic company based on innovation. Where do you see it going?
Well, from a business perspective, the goal is to make the technology ubiquitous. Anywhere, in any business where there's data that needs to be explained, there's a role for this technology. So it can be applied everywhere. And it's not uncommon for us when speaking to clients to see this aha moment where they suddenly realize how this can be used and they start producing all these use cases. So it can be used everywhere. But technologically, I think where we're headed is continually making the technology more and more articulate. Right now, we're at a stage where in the specialized domains where we function, the software produces reports that are indistinguishable from those that would be written by human experts. But we want to get to a stage where we can write better text than your favorite author, for example. So we want to increase the linguistic sophistication of this machinery way beyond where we are right now, and we'll get there.
Well, all the very best with that.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. If you'd like any more information, please do visit the Edison website.